And me, personally, I have been a loser for many years of my life when it comes. Hello, we are officially closing the chapter 2024 and opening a new chapter 2025. And this year, I am not setting New Year's resolutions. And here's why. One, I've never really been the type of person to set New Year's resolutions. I'll set ones that don't really matter. You know, like this year I'm gonna wear more color, which actually, you know, I am wearing more color. I had this phase where all I would wear is black, and now I'm starting to wear some more colors, so that's exciting. But that is not because of my New Year's resolution. That's honestly just because, I don't know, I think it's good to add some color here and there. Anyway, this is not important. This is not what we're talking about today. What we are talking about today is how I'm going about the new year to actually have a difference in my life. And this video is for anyone who is very serious about making 2025 a different year than 2024 by accomplishing more goals, by following the things that are just burning inside of you and actually doing them, and wanting something different, wanting something new, wanting something exciting. This is for you. This is for people who are very, very, very serious about intentionally making 2025 their best year yet. So you're saying, Hannah, you're not setting any New Year's resolutions? And I'm saying, no, I'm not. But here is a concept that I came across recently that I am going to do. And what I am going to do is pick a word for my year. And I was listening to an interview with James Clear, which is the author of Atomic Habits. Great book, very, very popular. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend. Or, fun fact, if you have Spotify Premium, you can listen to the audiobook on there for free, I think. Wait, is that one of the ones you can't? Hold on, let me check. Okay, that is actually one of the books that you can't listen to for free, but guess what? There is an Atomic Habits playlist, and it is the same as the audiobook. They do have a playlist on Spotify, and you can listen to it for free. So if you like to walk, it might be a good book to listen to, because that book really does show you how habits can change your life. If anyone is wanting to do something different, that has great advice in it. Anyway, coming back to what I was saying, I was listening to a interview, or not an interview, how would you say this? Maybe a podcast? They were talking over a YouTube video, but it's with Ryan Holiday, who posts on The Daily Stoic. That is his brand, The Daily Stoic. I think he has great stuff to share, so if you need someone to look up or read something that has to do with Stoicism, highly recommend. But the point of this is that he was telling James Clear how he chooses a word for the year. James Clear says he doesn't really do that, but he likes the idea of it, you know, the whole thing, and he knows people who do it. And he said this thing which I think is so important, where he says, you know, the whole idea of law of attraction, it's more law of attention. So when you set a word of the year, you always have a word to come back to. You can even put it on your wall, make it your screensaver, paint a little painting and have it in the middle. Basically, your word reminds you of like, okay, this is what I wanted to do at the beginning of the year, and helps you reference back to it and look at your day and look at what you're doing and be like, okay, is this helping me move towards the goal, or is this aligning with the word I chose? And with all that being said, I'm going to share with you guys my word, which I don't think is a very popular one. My first word was going to be consistency, and I was like, girl, I feel like that's always the word that you have, that's just being consistent. And I feel like in the past 2 months, I've actually kind of gotten on that wagon, but I didn't want to do consistency because I was like, okay, that's a good word, but that's just something you need to remind yourself to do every day anyway, no matter what the year is. So I didn't want to do that, and I was thinking, and I was like, okay, what could I do? And boom, it came to me. My word for this year is going to be closer. Not closure, not like when you break up with someone and you want closure, closer. And the reason I chose this word is because there was a Casey Neistat video that I watched years ago, and he talks about losers and closers, and how closers, they always get whatever they're doing done. And me, personally, I have been a loser for many years of my life when it comes to this whole idea, because I start things and then I don't finish them. It never feels good. It never feels good. So that's when I decided my word is going to be closer. When I start something, I'm going to finish it, because if we don't finish the things that we just have like a fire in us to finish, or that it's, you know, something that's just burning away at us, then we'll never know, right? Like maybe you do something and you don't love it as much as you thought you would love it, but at least you know, so you can go in a different direction or try something new. Like at least you know, and you're not sitting there wondering like, oh, I wonder if I did this, what it would have felt like, or if that was the right thing. No, you know, you closed and you know. So that is my word, closer. I'm very excited, because I think having that in the back of my brain and in my face every day day, because I am gonna write this down, is gonna help me fully finish all my projects and ideas and see where they take me and see if they're the right thing and see if they're the wrong thing. Either way, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I finished it, and at least now I know, and I'm not sitting there regretting not knowing. All right, so that is my word. If you would like to share your word below, I would love to read them, honestly. I feel like I like to see what people choose, and I want to know about you and what you're looking for in this new year. So feel free to share. I will read it, and it will be so fun. The next thing that I am going to do is set quarterly goals that have my overall big goal in it. And the reason I'm doing this is because quarterly goals are 3 months, right? So you have 4 quarters in a year. They do this in businesses and financial quarters, all that stuff. But you basically have 3 months, and that minimizes the time you have to complete those goals. There's that whole concept that if we have a timeline of 12 months, we will take the full 12 months to do it. If we have a timeline of 3 months, we're gonna take 3 months to do it. In anything that we do, the more time we give ourselves, the more time we're gonna take to do it. So if you can shorten that time down, you'll actually get more done, and it gives you time to sit there and reflect on the past quarter and then plan out your next quarter. And maybe, you know, you amp up whatever goal you're working on and do some more things, or maybe you realize that, hey, this isn't working and I don't want to do this anymore, and that's great, and now you can change and do something else. But I think quarterly goals are really important. And on top of that, quarterly SMART goals. I have mentioned SMART goals before, but I do think they're important, and I'm going to share with you guys one of mine because I think it's easier to set SMART goals when you have some examples, because I remember the first time I saw it when I was in school and I was like, what? I didn't know how to set them. So yes, I'm going to share with you guys mine, and this one is going to be for YouTube, for talking to you. Let's go over that. Okay, so I want to start off with my overall big goal. My overall big goal is that I want to be a consistent creative. I'm a very creative person, and I feel like I have not pursued a lot of my creative interests, and one of them is making videos, and another one of them is writing, but we are just going to focus on the videos right now. And if you are someone who is also wanting to make videos, or, you know, have a creative outlet online, feel free to do this with me. Obviously, you're gonna have to change some things, but yeah, we can just write them down together. Except I already wrote mine down, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, hopefully. Okay, so starting with S, which stands for specific, be consistent with posting on YouTube. That is my specific goal. I want to be consistent. I have not been very consistent in the past, except when I was younger. I had a different channel and I actually was extremely consistent, so I know I can do it. But on this channel, I just recently started being consistent, and I want to make sure that that keeps happening. Next, we move on to M, which stands for measurable. And how I'm going to measure this is posting at least 1 video a week. 1 video a week needs to be finalized and uploaded onto this channel. And that is very doable. I know it is very doable. It just means that I need to stay focused and consistent. So that's how I'm going to measure it. Did I post 1 video this week? Next is A for actionable. So this goes into my weekly habits. Like, what am I going to do each week to make sure this happens? And this is what I came up with. On Sunday, I'm going to have a story timeline written out for my video. At least 1. I can have multiple, and let's say I have new inspiration the day of filming, I can edit it, but I want at least 1 story timeline written out to film a video. And then I will plan 1 day a week where I film. And then after that 1 day, I'm going to give myself 3 days, at least 3 days to edit. So that means that I can't film on a Friday, because then if that's my filming day, I only have 2 days left to edit, right? And I said, no, you need a minimum of 3 days to edit, because editing takes the longest time when it comes to making YouTube videos. And so I know for me personally, if I give myself 3 days, I'll be able to edit to the best of my ability and take time and not feel stressed out. That is how I'm going to put this plan into action. And I'm going to, at the beginning of each week, make sure that those days are established and in my schedule. Next is R, which is relevant. So how is this relevant? Well, it goes back to my word, being a closer in my creative pursuits and evolving as a creative. Here's something I have realized now that I am filming and posting more frequently than in the past, and sticking to it this time, is that whenever you do something, it's starting to build momentum. So now it has me thinking about other things from doing this thing. For example, there's always construction by my house, and maybe sometimes I want to film at night, right? So then I started to think, okay, so what can I do so I can film whenever I want to? And then it had me looking into lighting. You start thinking about, okay, how can I be better at filming and being a creative and all of those things? things. I've mentioned before that I love to write. So then I was like, okay, how can I connect writing into this, right? And then I thought to myself, well, maybe I can start writing, you know, one thing a week and putting it on a website that I make. Something about just doing something, it starts sparking all these other ideas. You know what they say, it's easier to steer a bike when you're already pedaling it. Just by being consistent and practicing doing this and making time each day to work on my creative pursuits not only helps me, one, not feel anxious that I'm not doing it. Instead of me thinking about it all the time, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? I'm doing it and I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm evolving. But two, it helps me to start to think about, okay, now what else can I do? And how can I make this better? And how can I add to this? So that is the relevant part for this goal. And then lastly, time bound. So we know that for my measurable section, I'm gonna do one video a week. So this means by the end of Q1 of 2025, I will have at least 12 videos uploaded. And the way that I got this is doing 4 weeks in 1 month. So 3 months times 4 weeks equals 12 videos. And if I feel like posting more, I definitely can, but this is it. This is the line. And I'm telling you this, and I just realized this now that I'm telling you this. If I don't post, you have to hold it against me. You have to be like, you know what? You said you're gonna do this and you didn't do this. Yeah, so that could be accountability, I guess. All right, so this is what I'm going to do for the new year. Instead of setting New Year's resolutions, the reason that I am taking this year more serious than I think I have my past years is because this past year, it was really a lot of awareness and healing and learning things. And I started to become extremely aware of time. And our time here is finite. We have an end date and we don't know when that date is going to be. I think once you come to terms with the fact that there is not forever, you start to think, you know what, I am actually going to at least try and pursue all the things that I feel, because I don't know when it's gonna be the day that's my last day, and I don't want to get to the end and regret at least not trying. I'm gonna talk more about this in another video, but I just wanted to share with you guys, like, that is why I think I have started to lean into the things that I feel passionate about and take action, because I have an end date, and if not now, when? And on that note, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to, please share your word or any goals you have. I would love to read through them, and I will see you all very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and yay for 2025. Okay, bye.